morning. Sorry about the glare from the overhead light. I have to keep that on because it's a bit cloudy outside, so not going to be very bright. Also, it still is just 7 a.m. and the sun has risen, but not by much. So, anyway, I thought I would go ahead and show you guys how I do a set change. Now, I do something that's a couple steps that are a little bit different from other people just because I don't like to be disconnected from my insulin pump any longer than I absolutely have to be. By the way, I would also like to apologize for the fact that I've not had coffee yet this morning. So anyway, I've gone ahead and I've removed these three pieces from their little plastic coverings. This is the one that the cartridge came in, just little plastic wrap bits. I just figured we could speed up the video a tiny bit by doing that. So the first thing I'm going to do is assemble the needle. Just screw that bit on. And then remove as much air as you can from your new cartridge. You can hear my cat in the background. Sorry about that as well. He has been fed. He's just angry because he's not allowed in the office. Okay. So, you don't want too much air in your cartridge because obviously you want to have mostly insulin. So I want to make sure that that air is removed so you can just put the insulin in and go. Now, this one I did not unwrap yet, but I like to put my infusion set in before I go forward and remove my other set because, again, I don't like being removed from my insulin any longer than I absolutely have to be, especially since this morning I am running a little on the high side. I was having a lot of insulin reactions last night and I might have overcorrected. It happens. By the way, this is a pink one. I also have gray. My next order will be blue. So this is the AutoSoft 90 from T-Slim. Just want to undo the tubing, or unwind the tubing, I guess I should say. Remove this little cover on the sticky. It's also in a little swirly shape. And then take the cap off very carefully because if this thing bends, it'll go in bent, and that's the last thing you want. That will cause kinked cannulas, which are not fun. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the right side of my abdomen. I have a little spot right there that hasn't been used yet. Then you pull this back by pushing on these little rib tabs. You don't want to press on the little clear, and I just did. You don't want to push on the little clear ones because that will deploy the needle, and I'm convinced will result in a kinked cannula, but hopefully I didn't ruin that. So push the little clear tabs down, hold that in for a couple seconds, pop it out, and put that back together. So it does have a needle in it, but this covers it and makes sure that it's a little enclosed sharps container thing. I did mention I haven't had coffee yet, so my ability to speak has not set in. So at this point, you want to take this part of the tubing, pop it into the lure lock, and kind of twist a bit. This is a bit that some people don't like on the T-Slim because it hangs off and it does make it look medical, but frankly, I just tuck it in. So I don't see it very often. Now, I'm going to go ahead and remove my existing pump set, which as you can see is on the back of my body. I'm not going to show that because I don't want to blind anybody with my pasty pale skin. Okay. And then I have, this is kind of neat. I'll leave a link to these shorts below. These are, I think, Tesla shorts, But they have this nifty little pocket up front. I have two pairs. I have this black pair and then a pair of gray and white ones. And basically they just have a little pocket on the waistband. It's really convenient. I think you can put a phone in there too, but excuse me. You can also put your insulin pump. Like, it's a perfect size for a T-Slim. I think a Medtronic pump would definitely fit in there as well. Not sure about the Omnipod PDM. The dash bit might, because it's a little bit smaller and closer to the size of a iPhone. So that's the way you can keep your pump on hand. So now we have the pump. And I am going to pop it out of its little pump case, which I'm getting better at doing. So just pull that through and go into your menu. 1, 2, 3. Go to options. Again, I'm running a little on the high side, which I didn't show that, but it's 253. I'll convert that to millimoles below. Go to load, change cartridge. In order to change a cartridge, all insulin deliveries will be stopped. Continue. Yes. All deliveries stopped. Disconnect infusion set from your body and press next to continue. So, I'm going to press next. Now it's preparing for the cartridge. Remove the cartridge and install a filled cartridge. Press the unlock button when complete. Now, T-Slim sends two little black key things. I have lost one of them. The other one's on my keychain, which I don't have in here with me. But you can use a quarter or something comparably sized if you're in another country. So, just slip that down between the edge of the cartridge and the pump where it slides in, and pop. Pull it off. I still have probably 1 milliliter of insulin left in this thing, and I don't like to waste insulin. I do like to put a little bit extra in there just because you never know how you sorry. Oh, you never know how your blood sugars are going to run on a given day. So, I'm just going to pull that out. Yes, it does have a lot of air bubbles in it. And should be most of it. Now we can throw that one away. Flick it a bit on the side. Press out as much of the air as you can. So you just have the full milliliter or however much you pull out of insulin. Yes, I could just switch the cartridge over, but I like to keep my supplies on the same schedule. So, usually put 2.5 milliliters in. Again, I typically only go through maybe 1.5, but never know when you might be eating an extra carby meal or have harder to control blood sugars. And there we go. So I'll pull that back to where it was when I inserted it. Gonna flick the needle a bit and push up. Make sure all the air is out. And now we are going to fill this cartridge, which put the little needle bit of the syringe on that little white bit. Push it in. You'll get a little resistance, but that's fine. Now, do not remove your finger from the top of the needle. Just pop it out. Recap the needle. And this wouldn't have to necessarily go in a sharp spin because it's, go ahead and throw that away. It is sterile. It hasn't been inside me at all, but I do put this little bit in the sharp spin anyway, which I keep over here. So, now we can slide this bit back into the pump. It's giving me an angry error because I have stopped the loading process. It's been turned off for a while and is just wondering what the deal is. Okay, so put that back in, unlock or turn it on rather, 1, 2, up, 1, 2, 3. Yes, change cartridge alert. Cartridge process has not been completed. We know this. Close. Now, we're going to push this little unlock button. Press next to continue. And now it's detecting the cartridge, kind of pushing out any remaining air, so we don't have any additional air bubbles. Anders, I'll give you some nip later, okay? Can you be quiet? Thanks, Betty. Okay. Make sure the set is disconnected from your body. Obviously it is. Press next to fill your tubing with insulin. Fill tubing. Now, for this bit, it usually takes about 11 to 13, depending on the day, units of insulin to get through. You want to wait till you see 3 drops going through this bit. And regardless of whether you have the set attached to you or not, you want to hold this needle end down. And the reason for that is insulin can get a bit goopy. And I'm just kind of talking because it takes a while to fill. This is the part on the T-Slim that takes a little bit longer than other types of insulin pumps. So I'm probably about halfway there. There's a minimum of 10 units that have to be filled. Right now we are on 8.4. I don't know if you can see that or not. Probably not. Okay, 9.1. I'll start looking for the drops. I've been told you want to see 3 drops going. So 1, 2, 3, and stop. Now it is stopping fill. Detecting the insulin. Okay. I could probably not record this part. If you see drops at the end of the tubing, press done. If no insulin drops are noticed, press fill to continue filling. Amount filled, 12.4 units. Yep. It's not showing anything. So we're going to press done. Now, next step is to fill the cannula. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this into the infusion set piece. And of course it's taking longer today because I'm recording. Alright. Fill cannula, insert a set and connect through the filled tubing. Did that. Press next to fill the cannula with insulin. I have a 9mm cannula and I was told that takes half a unit. This part does not take long at all. And we're done. Stopping fill. Now, slight reminder is set up for Sunday. 3 days from now, press save, setting saved, and we are done. So, test BG in 1 to 2 hours. I have a Dexcom, so I'll just keep my eye on what my blood sugars are doing. Resume insulin. And I will go ahead and bolus for breakfast and see if I can get that high blood sugar, which is now 248, corrected. And that's how I do this. So sorry for rambling. Again, no coffee yet this morning. Take care, guys. Bye.